Sorry, Larry is unavailable. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished.
Thanks to the responsible creative control exercised by the original movie moguls throughout Hollywood's golden era, the studios profited by making creative movies that were on a wide spectrum of subjects, as discussed by Ethan Mordden in his book, The Hollywood Studios. But today, the corporatized Marxists that infest Hollywood put out any agenda-promoting movie that will make a profit, regardless of how crude, disgusting, exploitive, or puerile the movie is. Ask the executives that greenlit Dirty Grandpa.
You want me to do your back?
Only if you promise to do my front first.
Gladly. Oh, whoops. That never usually happens.
Really, it happens to me all the time.
And needless to say, the number one element in many Hollywood movies is violence, because violence sells, especially in international markets, where the streets now look little different than Hollywood movie sets.
Movies have become actually pretty boring because they're all violent right now, and I remember a time when they were more psychological thrillers. I liked those, the English Gothic films, and then at some point, I would say probably in the late 70s, they moved over from the Twilight Zones and the Night Gallery and the Vincent Price type of films to just complete bloodlust, and there was really nothing to figure out in that, and it has just escalated more and more. I find it so unreal that it has to be a movie.
And in today's world, the role models that are being offered to the young people are not necessarily the white hats at all.
No dickhead!
They're cynical people. A lot of them have criminal instincts. A lot of them are doing very bad things, and they have, on screen, they show no scruples, they show no compassion, they show no morals, no ethics, and yet they are the role models.
Come to Dad.
Many of these characters are violent, and that's what makes them, big tough guys. They're really good guys because they're violent. And so that's the image that's being presented, and I think that it has created a generation or more of people who are not sensitive anymore to violence.
I love movie violence. I know that might seem a little strange, but I'm just being honest with myself. You aren't messed up because you make a film about killing. You're messed up if you actually kill.
Yes, the very studio executives that say they are concerned about so much violence in the world and who advise we never forget the Holocaust profit by selling violence to every corner of the world. Is it any wonder the planet is so war-torn? If movies reflect their makers' interests, why are the makers so interested in violence? Does Hollywood breed global violence and terror? Many feel it does. It certainly profits from global violence and terror. Jack Valenti, past president of the MPAA, said that movies are mere entertainment. Is he right? Are movies mere entertainment? Entertainment that happens to reflect the violent world in which we live? Not according to 1,000 studies that have come out over the past 40 years. According to them, movies cause violence.
You see active shooters on the screen, then you get copycats who decide they want to go out like that, they want to be famous. And of course the media, when it's an active shooter, instead of withholding the guy's name and denying him that fame, they instead put his name and his face all over the cameras, and that just makes them want to do more of that. If someone's unstable and wants to go out and be in the history books, they know that they can count on the media to put their face and their name all over the place and pass it back and forth 24/7.
By the time our children are 18 years old, they have seen over 20,000 murders and 200,000 violent acts in the movies.
And part of the reason is that feeds the bigger agenda: curtail your right to bear arms, curtail your freedom, have more surveillance of all of us.
The violence in movies affects the child's brain. When there's a lot of killing in movies, children don't see that there's a consequence to it. And often the villains that are portrayed are stereotyped. You could take whatever's bugging the government or some particular group of people and put them as the villain, and then there you go. You start conditioning the person that this particular group of people is dangerous.